You're a good guy. You don't ghost people. You reply with full sentences. You've never sent a photo of anything unsolicited. You listen. You care. You hold doors open. And yet, here you are, single, scrolling TikTok at 1:27 a.m., watching some girl explain her attachment style using SpongeBob clips. And you're like, yeah, that's weirdly accurate. You've done everything right. You were raised to be respectful, to treat women well, to avoid being the creep in her DMS. You don't play mind games. You don't send wide at 2 a.m. You send her memes. You actually ask her how her day was. You're nice. You're kind. You're emotionally available, or at least trying. And you keep getting the same result. Friend-zoned, ignored, left on read. Or worse, you get hit with the classic, "You're such a good guy. I just don't want to ruin our friendship." Oof. And of course, the next week she's posting photos with some guy who thinks books are for nerds and whose idea of flirting is saying, "Yo." So what gives? Let me guess. You're thinking, do women even want good guys anymore? And listen, I get it. Because I've been there too. I've sat there staring at my phone like it's a math problem, wondering which message pushed her away. Was I too available? Too boring? Too not dangerous? Let's call it what it is. The nice guy paradox. You do what everyone says you're supposed to do, and you still lose. Meanwhile, Tyler with the tribal tattoos is living his best life. So, what's actually going on? Let's break it down. Because if you're tired of feeling like a safe option instead of the option, this one's for you. 1. Nice isn't the same as attractive. Let's get one thing straight. Being nice is not a bad thing, but it's also not the thing. It's the baseline. It's like showing up to a job interview with pants on. Cool, expected, not impressive. You don't get bonus points for basic decency. You don't get a girlfriend because you didn't catcall someone on the street. That's just not how this works. Women don't sit around in group chats saying, "OMG, girls, he asked me about my dreams." I'm literally shaking. Number. Because the truth is, being a good guy without confidence, direction, or charisma is like serving plain oatmeal in a wine glass. Healthy? Maybe. Exciting? Not really. And this hurts, I know. Because you were told your whole life that kindness is the key. But here's the twist. Kindness without presence. Forgettable. You're not losing because you're kind. You're losing because you're kind and invisible. 2. You don't create emotional impact. Here's a hard pill. Women don't fall for logic. They fall for feelings. And right now, you're making her think, not feel. You're texting like a therapist. Your convos sound like LinkedIn messages. She doesn't want a customer service rep. She wants a story, a thrill, a moment. So ask yourself, when she talks to you, does she feel anything? Excitement? Intrigue? A little danger? Or is it just another pleasant, polite chat that fades into digital oblivion? But I'm being respectful. Yes. Respect is essential, but respect is the foundation, not the whole building. You've got to give her something to remember, a laugh, a spark, a challenge, a moment she replays later in bed staring at the ceiling like, damn. Right now you're giving safe, and safe doesn't make the heart race. Safe gets you a thank you text. 3. You're always available. And that's a problem. Let me ask you this. If you text her first every time, if you respond within 0.4 seconds like you've been sitting there waiting, if you say yes to every invite, reschedule, coffee date, call, cry session, meme exchange, what message are you sending? You're telling her, My time isn't valuable. I don't have a life unless it includes you. I'm just happy to be noticed. And I know that's not what you mean, but that's what it says. And what happens when people think something is always available? They stop wanting it. Scarcity creates value. If she thinks you're just floating around waiting for her attention like a golden retriever holding a phone, she might pat your head, but she's not going to fall for you. She's going to chase the guy who isn't always online, who's doing stuff, who has things going on, because that's attractive. Not because he's playing games, but because he's busy living. 4. You confuse politeness with personality. Let me say it straight. A lot of nice guys are not actually interesting. They're just well-mannered. You know how to nod. You know how to say, "That's cool," when she tells a story. But if I asked her, "What's exciting about this guy?" she might go blank. You've spent so much time trying not to offend, you forgot how to express yourself. You're hiding behind politeness. And that's not personality. It's like showing up to a date and handing her a LinkedIn profile. Neat, clean, professional. But she didn't come here for a resume. She came for a vibe. So ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What do you get fired up about? What makes you weird, funny, unexpected? Because that's what sticks. Politeness is appreciated, but personality is what she talks about in the group chat. 5. You try too hard to be liked. Here's the deal. If you're constantly adjusting yourself to match what you think she wants, she's not dating you. She's dating a projection, a polite hologram. You're scared to disagree. You avoid saying what you really think. You pretend to be cool with everything because you don't want to rock the boat. But guess what? No one falls in love with neutrality. People fall in love with tension, with contrast, with uniqueness. If she says she loves indie rock and you go, "Yeah, I listen to that too," even though your playlist is 90% Drake, she feels that you're faking it. You're trying to be liked. And ironically, that's unlikable. Confidence isn't, "I agree with you." Confidence is, "Here's what I like. Want to join me?" You're not a puppy trying to be adopted. You're a grown man. Act like your opinions matter, because they do. 6. You don't flirt. You check in. Let's talk about energy. Right now, your vibe is just checking in. How are you feeling today? Hope everything's okay, which is sweet, but also very HR department. Where's the tension? Where's the edge? Flirting is an art. It's teasing, playfulness, boldness. It's saying something with a little wink, not just a polite smile. If your idea of flirting is sending her a meme with no context, we need to talk. She's not going to lie awake replaying your good morning text, but she will remember the one time you challenged her, made her laugh, surprised her. If you want romantic energy, you have to create it. You can't logic your way into desire. You have to spark it. That means taking risks, not being reckless, but being real. A little danger, a little boldness, a little mystery. Not, "Hey, how's your cat doing?" But, "If we ever went out, I'd win at making you laugh." That's a challenge, by the way. See the difference? One sounds like a neighbor. The other sounds like a man she's curious about. 7. You make her comfortable, not excited. This one stings a little. A lot of good guys think they're being rejected because they're too nice. But the truth is, you're not being rejected for your kindness. You're being rejected for being forgettable. There's no tension, no spark, no edge. You're safe. You're supportive. You're there when she cries about the guy who doesn't text back. You're the comfort guy. And don't get me wrong, comfort is valuable. But it's not the thing that makes someone want to rip your shirt off at 2 a.m. Chemistry is emotional, it's psychological, it's often irrational. You can't spreadsheet your way into someone's heart. You can't logic someone into wanting you. Desire is messy, it's wild, and sometimes it needs friction to exist. So if you're giving her the energy of a weighted blanket and a chamomile tea, guess what? She might respect you, she might trust you, but she won't chase you. 8. You're easy to get, and that makes you easy to forget. Let's be honest. The chase exists for a reason. Not because women want to play games, but because humans are wired to value what feels rare, exciting, and earned. And right now, you're too available, too easy, too predictable. She doesn't have to wonder if you'll text. She knows you will. She doesn't wonder what you think. You agree with everything. She doesn't wonder what you're doing. You're waiting on her next reply. Where's the mystery? Where's the suspense? Where's the feeling of, God, I hope he picks me? You've already picked her, before she even showed interest. That's not romantic. That's desperate. You don't need to play hard to get. But you do need to have a life that doesn't revolve around her attention. You need to be someone who's hard to impress, someone who chooses carefully, someone who makes her feel lucky to be noticed, not the other way around. 9. You've built an identity around being the good guy. Let's go deeper. For some men, being good isn't just behavior. It's their whole identity. You've made yourself the savior, the fixer, the nice, safe, sweet, selfless man who never asks for anything. And what happens? You attract people who need fixing, people who need saving, people who use you as an emotional crutch, but never choose you, never see you. Because deep down, you're not showing yourself. You're showing a performance, the perfect man you think they want. But real attraction doesn't happen when you perform. It happens when you're seen, flaws and all. She doesn't want perfect. She wants real, raw, unfiltered. You're not being rejected because you're too kind. You're being rejected because you're not being you. 10. You're playing defense instead of taking the shot. Here's the deal. You're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. You don't flirt because you don't want to come off weird. You don't ask her out because what if she says no? You don't express attraction because I don't want to make her uncomfortable. Bro, that's not respect. That's fear wearing a mask of politeness. You're not being considerate. You're being passive, and she feels it. Women are intuitive. They know when a guy wants them, but is too scared to show it. And if you're too afraid to take the shot, she'll find someone who isn't. Not because he's better, but because he moves. Desire doesn't grow in neutral. It grows in motion. So stop overthinking. Stop tiptoeing. Take the shot. You might miss, but at least you'll stop wondering what could have happened if you were just a little more bold. 11. You think deserving. Getting this one's gonna hurt a bit, but you need to hear it. You think, hey, I'm a decent guy. I'm respectful. I'm emotionally mature. I don't lie or cheat. I should be in a relationship. And you're not wrong to want that. But here's the catch. Deserving something doesn't mean you'll get it. This isn't a reward system. You don't trade in your politeness points for a girlfriend. Life doesn't work like a loyalty card. You don't earn a woman by being better than the other guys. Because women don't choose based on checklists. They choose based on how you make them feel. And right now, you make her feel safe, but not alive. That's the missing piece. Stop thinking, but I'm a good guy. I deserve love. Start asking, how do I show up in the world? In her world? What kind of energy do I bring into the room? You can still be a good man. But don't expect anyone to hand you something for that. Go become someone they naturally gravitate toward. 12. You're afraid to lead. Let's talk masculinity. And don't worry, I'm not going Andrew Tate on you. But one thing is true. Most women want a man who knows how to lead, not dominate, not control, not bark orders, but lead. She wants to feel like you've got direction, like you can hold space, like you're grounded, like when the world gets messy, you don't fall apart. And what do nice guys often do? They say, whatever you want. They ask, where do you want to eat? They say, I'm good with anything. And again, being flexible isn't bad, but leadership is magnetic. So next time you're texting her, try this. I know a place. I'll pick you up at 7. You'll love it. It's not aggressive. It's decisive. It shows intention. It shows initiative. And trust me, that energy stands out in a world full of indecisive boys and IDK texts. 13. You're still afraid of rejection. Let's keep it real. Underneath the good guy mask, there's often a scared guy. A guy who's terrified of being told no, of being rejected, of not being enough. So you build this armor. You act sweet. You act safe. You act supportive, but never bold, never raw, never vulnerable. Because you think, if I just keep doing the right things, I won't get hurt. But guess what? You're already hurt. You're already alone. You're already frustrated. So what are you protecting exactly? Here's the truth. You can't avoid pain and expect love. You can't hide behind niceness and expect passion. You have to risk something. You have to show something. Because real connection, it requires exposure. It requires being seen. Not just liked, but known. That's the difference between being a good guy and being the man she chooses. 14. You've never asked yourself what you want. Okay. Now flip the script. You've been chasing her validation, trying to be what she wants, what they told you a man should be. But what about you? What do you want? Not what you think you should want. Not what your mom told you. Not what TikTok says is ideal. What actually lights you up? What kind of woman do you want? What kind of relationship? What kind of life? Because if you don't know, you'll keep molding yourself to fit into other people's lives, and then be surprised when they don't pick you. But you weren't you to begin with. You were just trying to be safe. So start there. Start choosing yourself. Build a life that reflects your values, your vision, your rhythm. Then, and only then, see who shows up. Because the right person doesn't want the man who fits into her life. She wants the man who's already living his. 15. You think love is something you wait for. Let me say this with love. You've been waiting for a relationship. Like it's some bus you'll catch if you just stand there long enough. You tell yourself, when the right girl comes along, when she finally sees how good I am, when I find someone who appreciates me. But that's backwards. You don't wait for love. You build yourself into the kind of man who attracts it. You develop. You sharpen. You grow into someone who doesn't beg to be seen. He demands attention by how he moves through life. Love isn't passive. It's not patient. It's not polite. It's real, messy, bold, present. And you won't find it while hiding behind maybe someday. You find it when you step up. 16. So, what do you actually do now? Let's simplify. No, you don't need to become an alpha gorilla with a podcast. No, you don't need to stop being kind. No, you don't need to treat her mean to keep her keen. That's insecure nonsense. But you do need to change some things. Here's how. Start living for you. Build a life that excites you. Do things that make you feel alive, attractive, powerful. Take risks. Tell her how you feel. Ask her out. Flirt a little. Stir the energy. Stop playing it safe. Lead. Make decisions. Take initiative. Be the man who says, "I've got this," and means it. Have a spine. Stop agreeing with everything. Speak your mind, not aggressively, but authentically. Create tension, not drama. Tension. That beautiful, magnetic, "what's he gonna do next?" energy. Be kind, but be clear. Let her know you're not here to be just a friend. You're here because you want her. That clarity, that confidence, it's more attractive than any six-pack or sports car. 17th. Final words. Stop trying to be picked. Start choosing. You're not here to beg for love. You're not here to be background noise in someone else's story. You're not here to be the safe choice or the nice guy fallback. You're here to become the main character in your own damn life. To stand up straighter. To speak with fire. To look in the mirror and say, "I don't need to be chosen. I choose who gets access to me." That's when the shift happens. When you stop being the good guy who waits and start being the real man who acts. Be kind, be good, but don't be soft. Women aren't looking for a doormat in a button-up. They're looking for a storm with a purpose, someone solid, grounded, real. So stop asking, "Why doesn't she want me?" Start becoming the man who makes her wonder how she lived without you. Roll credits. If this hits you even a little, share it with someone who needs it. Drop a comment. Or don't. I'm not your dad. But seriously, start showing up like the man you were always meant to be.